Hello, viewers. Welcome back for the episode on consumer rights. And this episode is going to be on the misleading advertisements. So, when we talk about misleading advertisements, there we have a lot of things to be looked into, like bait advertisements, surrogacy, free claims advertisements, child targeted, advertisement prohibited by law, disclaimers. Now, a lot of things has to be looked into, but this episode exclusively deals with misleading advertisement, the meaning of it, and the do's and don'ts of the advertisers, what they should do. Now, with this information, as a consumer, we would be able to understand the ethical, proper advertisement and differentiate it from the misleading advertisement. So, when we take up the advertisement, the misleading advertisements are the one which falsely describe some product or services. So when we talk about false description, they make certain wrong claims like organic. Now, whenever they make a claim that the product is organic, it needs to be organic according to the standards prescribed. If not, it becomes a misleading advertisement. Please remember, anything written on the label, wrapper, or even packet can also be constitute into advertisement. If you remember, I had made this discussion in the earlier episode. So therefore, even on a wrapper, if it is written organic, it needs to be organic. Now here is another interesting advertisement where the company is claiming that it's an antibacterial paint and recommended by Indian Medical Association. But again, please remember, it is not related to description, it is relating to the process in which the paint is made. Now, there is a star to the word recommended. Now, if you look at that, the recommendation of the Indian Medical Association is not of the paint but of the technology. That is, silver ion technology is recommended by the Indian Medical Association. But if you look at all these things, the fine prints and other thing, it looks to be a misleading advertisement. It is a worth case to be reported. Now, if you look at this butter just got better, here they are making a claim that it helps block the cholesterol. Actually, cholesterol block the blood flow. Now here we are talking about blocking the cholesterol itself, and 28% less saturated fat in the butter. That's what needs to be verified. And if they are false descriptions, then it is a misleading advertisement. Moving on from false description, we move on to false guarantees. So when you say guarantee, we may say money back guarantee, like all the pen drives come with lifetime guarantee. Now these has to be a real guarantee, and they should live up to the guarantees that they put forth. So best price guarantee, reliability, or even satisfaction, these things has to be made a promise with the intention to fulfill the promise. Moving on, now we take up representation as misleading advertisement. Now, when in the earlier episode, when I talked about representation, I spoke about representation of a community, gender, and various other things which brings a society in a bad light. But now, this representation, I am talking about the unfair trade practices, like making a misrepresentation of the quality of the product, like this one where they claim within minutes the wrinkles would be vanished from the face. Now that's again misrepresentation. And the darker skin becomes fairer skin, that's again a misrepresentation. Delicious, nutritious, the contents of this Nestle product, again, as long as they are true, they are well and good, but otherwise it constitutes misrepresentation. And misrepresentation is unfair trade practice, and telling this is a misleading advertisement. Moving on to the next one, the do's and don'ts of the advertising. The first thing that every advertiser must take care, and the consumer must verify whether it's truthful or honest representation. Now here the company is representing that they are number 2 in competition. Now that's the honest way of mentioning that they are yet to improve over it. Now that is to be appreciated and rewarded. Anyone who makes exaggeration of the performance, like world's best coffee, now that's again something which cannot be verified. That should not be done by the advertisers. Now this is something which is very serious thing, that advertisers try to convince the consumers that if the service or the product is not bought, purchased, then they would be under kind of a risk, disadvantage. So there they are trying to create a fear in the minds of the people to sell the product. 26% of burglaries happen while someone is at home. Feel safe now. Take the support of ADT security. Now that's a kind of selling the product by creating a fear in the mind of the consumers. Now that's something which should not be done. Unsubstantiated claims, like all the doctors wear or use the Camel cigarettes, that's again unsubstantiated and it cannot be checked also. Now this is something which is very much we must be sure about, like service charges. If some hotel puts up a board outside that service charges are not charged in this hotel, please welcome, or all of you are welcome. Now that something is requirement of the law. The law makes it mandatory that service charges should not be charged in any hotel. But they are claiming it to be an additional and innovative service to the customers. That's misleading. That's wrong on their part. Now here in this ad you can see iodized salt. Now salt is being iodized is being shown as a uniqueness of the product. But iodine contained salt is a requirement of the law. So in a hilly region, lack of iodine led to various diseases, and government of India made it mandatory that every the salt produced and sold in the market must contain iodine. So that's why it is a requirement of the law. It cannot be sold as a distinctive feature of that product. Now, inaccurate scientific claim. Eclipse is a bubble gum or a chewing gum where it claimed that it has a natural germ killing ability, but when it was tested it proved to be wrong claim. So this inaccurate scientific claim treated as misleading advertisement, and they were fined millions of dollars. So that's again misleading advertisement. The point to be taken into consideration is that any industry or a producer makes a reasonable promise but fails to fulfill it, but that too occasionally. See, mistakes do happen, failures do happen, but as long as the promise is reasonable, failure is occasional and followed by a prompt action, then it cannot be treated as misleading advertisement and action cannot be taken against that person. Now coming to the most important part of the discussion, what to do when you come across with such misleading advertisement. See, the process is very simple. There is something called as GAMA, that is a Grievance against misleading advertisement. Now this GAMA is been created by the central government. Only duty is watch it carefully. Any advertisement, if you feel that it is misleading, report it under the GAMA. The reporting can be done here, gama.gov.in. So once it is reported, the government, the department would communicate to the advertiser, producer, manufacturer, service provider, and look into the matter and see whether it violates any of the claims or any of the rules framed under misleading advertisement. So thank you very much for your patient hearing, and please be an alert citizen and make this world a better space, better place for the consumers. Thank you very much. Please share, subscribe and recommend. Thank you very much.